cannot brand what you don't know. So you have the start point and you have the end goal. Trusting God in the process. So like Yoruba will say, when you are doing a good job, a nice job, they won't even bother about your logo artwork. Don't put to me that personal branding is very important when you put your art to what you're doing, because you don't know whosoever is watching you.
Do you think AI is coming for your job, especially the graphic design part? Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Business Gist, and today we're talking about branding. Branding. Everywhere, everyone wants to get branded, both online and physically. Every business that is not careful about their brand these days, you're off the market if you're not careful. So today we're having someone who is a brand expert talk about branding with us. Hello and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Corey.
How are you?
I'm fine.
How has everything been? Welcome to the new year, actually.
Best wishes.
So let's start from the beginning. Who are you? What sparked your interest in branding? How did you come into the world of branding? How has it been with the world of branding?
Okay, I'm Gideon Adebayo Oluwafemi, the person behind Giddy Visuals and Printing. Actually, branding wasn't what I actually had interest in while starting. I just wanted to do graphic design only.
Okay.
But in the long run, I felt I should just step up into branding because I've seen a lot of things which I wasn't satisfied with, like how people position themselves out there. Like people always have the orientation that branding is all about logo design and every other thing, but this personally with their personality is all about their personality. But my interest now boils up seeing that let me venture into branding, let me position these people professionally out there, let me brand them well, probably from their souvenirs, their brand merchandise in general. So that was what brought about me entering into what's the world of branding in total.
Meaning that you didn't actually start physical branding because, okay, from the beginning. So at the point you had to pivot into physical branding.
Exactly, yeah.
So what is the easiest way for someone who wants to start a physical brand? What is the easiest way for the person to enter that space now?
Okay, from my own perspective and orientation over time, I will just say pick a step at a time.
Okay.
A step at a time. Even when climbing a step, you have risers before you move up to the landing area. So when starting out or when venturing into something, particularly into branding area, now it's a step at a time. We should not, as someone who is starting up or wanted to venture into branding, should not pick everything at the same time because it's a vast space, very wide. It's not just one thing included in branding. It's very wide, as you said. So just take a step at a time when you're starting out.
So can someone who doesn't do graphic design venture into doing physical branding?
Yes, it's possible.
How?
It's possible. But one thing is certain: one must have the idea of what graphic design is, because you cannot brand what you don't know. Like the Latin word "nemo dat speak not abet." You can't give what you don't have. You must have the idea of what graphic design is, because you might see some branding now. A branding expert, we see it as this is not done by a professional, but because of your idea of what branding really takes, having a knowledge of what because graphic design itself is a school and it has so many branches. So venturing into branding, you must have the idea of what graphic design takes so that you not make error in the long run. And some people might actually come to you, I want to do branding, but they themselves, they don't have the idea or the orientation of what they want to do. But because you've been schooled in that area, you know how to advise them and put them on the right track so that they will not fall into the error and having a poor branding for their personal brand, so to say.
I have something to tell you.
All right. Over 90% of the people who watch Business Gist are not subscribed. That is not good enough for us. Help us to build this community we are building for creatives, leadership, and thought leaders. Let's work together. Kindly like, share, and make sure you subscribe to Business Gist with Akure. Thank you. So now we have the graphic design part of branding, which is, let's say, the software part of branding.
Yeah.
And also the, in quote, hardware part of branding. So which one do you enjoy most between the two?
I enjoy the both.
Why?
I enjoy both because I love creativity as a person.
Okay.
I love something to be creative. That's what boils out or brings out the passion in me at first. Because when I see something, I always want to know the in-depth. Probably I'm looking into a particular flyer design. I want to know what's come about the color mixing, how they come about the color gradient, and everything that entails that come about how the flyer looks. I always want to know the in-depth So I try to create my stuff from scratch. So that bed forth the personal interest to go forth into branding, because that's alone we inspire you to, okay, how can we position, how can we do this in the right manner or in the right sense before this particular artwork come into play. There are sketches, a lot of sketches before they can come about this, and that's the creativity behind it. There's always behind the scene of every creativity. Yeah, there's always behind the scene. So knowing that fully well, we enable one to actually know what you want to give out to your audience as personal branding.
So on this, now that you enjoy both, I'm very sure there'll be days you feel like, how did I get it? Why am I doing this myself? So how do you go about those days that you are really like are tired? You've eaten like a roadblock and you feel like I'm tired. So how do you deal with such moments like that?
Well, I will say I always encourage myself, and with the word I always put on my lips, trusting God in the process, because there are a lot of time whereby I will just be tired at, oh my God, we line up back. But when you see what make you start, there's a reason why I started this thing. So that is that alone is a motivation for me to keep going forward and to bring satisfaction to my audience or my client base. So it's very important that know why you start and know the end point of where you're going, so that you will not just like Yoruba will say, "Kenya maba kusono BFA." So you have the start point and you have the end goal, just like a line. Maybe we have parallel line does not mean though that one continues going. But we as a human, we know that the reason why I start and I know my focus. So keeping one focus is very important, and that alone keeps me going over time.
So you're saying knowing your why helps you, drives you through those moments when you are really like tired about
Yeah,
it and you don't know
exactly.
what you want to do.
Exactly.
So how many years have you been branding now? Let's start from graphic design to blue branding. Like how many years now?
Let me say I'm 4 years now.
4 years.
Yes.
So what was your biggest challenge starting out in the world of branding, and how did you overcome them?
Okay, I would say my first year when I started, let me say printing, so to say, which is part of branding itself. Not knowing the how, like one of my lecturers do say, "Who no, you go no." So I was shown a lot of shege, like it's just so funny, like someone who is ahead of me reaching out to me that, boss, I want to do this thing, I want to get this thing done, but he will always collect his own part or his own portion, and I thought he's always doing me a favor. And that alone, I didn't know I'm doing it willingly. Okay, since I see my own thorough cover to put in bucket, at all, no bad, na bad pass. So that alone, I try to maneuver, like I said, that he's collecting more of the profits from me. So I felt, let me go out there, let me see how well I can get this thing done myself. So I started visiting some printing press to ask questions like, okay, if I want to do this thing, what's the cost? What's the cost? What's the rate? I started to know that, oh, this my Oga that I'm looking up to has always been eating past the owner. So I just drop that aspect. I reach out to brand that has physical machine. He himself did not have a machine.
So now
so it's just like a middleman. Yeah, exactly. So I had to just be on the lookout myself. Like, let me go to places where these things are done accurately. So then I make inquiries. I started visiting the place myself, send my job to them, and the profit is mine without sharing with the third party anymore.
And from that, you have a hands-on knowledge of how this is done.
Exactly.
So before an error is committed, you can easily like correct it before it goes out.
Exactly.
That's very good. All right, now we are going into business owners and branding. Okay. So what do you think most business owners misunderstand about branding, especially people that are just starting out?
Well, like I said from the onset, most startup think branding is all about logo design. Like, I just want to have a logo. I want to have a logo. Like one of my sister was talking, we are having a discussion 2 days ago. I said your branding is not only about your logo design, but your personality itself. How did people perceive you? How did they see your brand? Are you keeping your integrity? Are you keeping your personality out there? More people, when you are doing a good job, a nice job, they won't even bother about your logo outlook.
Yeah, actually.
But the output of your work really matters. That's the personal branding itself. What you are giving out there, the quality of the job you are offering to your audience or to your client base, not just about the physical, let me say, the brand identity. Yeah. Though the brand identity also matters, because when you want to work with professional brand, like let me say you have a brand, a company in Lagos, they want to know, okay, submit your quotation and all. When you just write your ordinary name, you give a high chance to your competitors about that particular job. That's a personal branding. It's very important, but I say personal branding is all about your personality, the quality of job you are putting out there, and how best are you able to represent your brand to your audience.
Now that you've explained how what beyond printing, okay, it's more of your personality. So why do you actually think branding matters beyond, let's say, come from POV of personal brand and corporate brand? Do you really think it matters?
Yes, it matters.
Why?
Like I said, it scales you up amidst competitor
Mm-hmm.
so well.
Yeah.
It scales you up amidst your competitor. I remember there was a time I posted the work on LinkedIn. I just did it using AI. That's when the advent of AI came in. So I tried to use AI to generate some images. So that prompted that particular brand from Abuja to reach out to me that he loves my color usage and the what's it called, the use of image alongside the color. So that was what inspired him to reach out to him. So I worked with him for like 2 times.
Wow.
So, and he's not just an ordinary brand. I was even glad. There was a time we had meeting together. I didn't know the CEO of the company was on board with us in that meeting, and my network was
Oh
actually. I was
wow.
really really pained. So I just had to tell him, please, let me to tender my sincere apology. I should get it. Though that alone put to me that personal branding is very important
Very, very
when
important.
you put your art to what you're doing, because you don't know whosoever is watching you. Just put in your best, put in your art, and the corporate branding itself, it's kind of how can I put that, a kind of a well representation of you. Yes, a well represent. I personally, let me say generally, most graphic designer or a
They don't have a
brand, they
brand.
don't have a brand.
They don't have a brand.
We don't know, maybe it's a general cause,
No,
let me put it
it's
that way.
I still saw a content of it yesterday when someone that does branding was like he finds his art to do his own logo.
I'm
Like
not
as in
satisfied with whatever thing I've been creating for myself over years. I'm not satisfied. Even the one I'm using currently, I'm not still satisfied. Because I think that's a kind of a yoke that we must break as a brand, as a
specialist.
brand specialist, as a brand specialist. You might submit your brand. Let me see. Let me even look through your. There's nothing. Though I have one, no, but it's
Still feel
not
like
it's not satisfying as
can
I
still
want.
make it better.
Yeah, that's one thing that's do happen.
Now you mentioned something AI. Do you think AI is coming for your job, especially the graphic design part?
No, it's
Mm.
never coming. Because AI, like when people say that word a lot, that AI is coming for that job, when do you eventually see what they generated? It's nothing to write home about because they don't have the right prompts.
Mm-hmm.
I myself, I know how to write a prompt to the AI
AI.
that will generate
Wow.
what I have in mind to give out there. But some people that are AI will take my job, no, because they don't put their creativity, they rely their creativity on that AI. But my creativity is within,
Mm-hmm.
not solely relied
Mm-hmm.
on the AI itself. So AI can never come for my job. It's not possible.
Clock it. So I think my own POV of the AI thing and all of that is the fact that there is always a personal feel to every work.
Yeah.
And that humanness, AI hasn't been able to replace such. The way you feel when you see a design, when you see a well structured design, you're like, oh, this is really speaking to me. Most times when you see AI, you're like, this is AI. This thing is not real. All right. You mentioned that you work with big brands. I mentioned you've worked with a couple of them, and you've even if you have not worked with some, you've studied some big brands. So, is there a big brand? It doesn't have to be Nigeria that you really like their branding, and why do you like their branding?
Well, I would like to talk about one in particular that has been a fulcrum of support to my brand since I started out. That's Respite Tea. It's
Mhm.
not a Nigeria-based brand. They've always been consistent in their branding. So that's the physical aspect, not
The
the online
online,
one.
okay.
And so though at the time they were investing in their online designs and all, but their personal branding, they invested in that a lot. And that alone has made them to stand out as a tea brand that's
Mm-hmm.
respected not only in Nigeria, they are in the UK. So I really appreciate a brand when a brand invests more in their personal branding,
Mhm.
because that's what people want to look into, not what you have to say. Because personal branding, it's caught attention. It's just like a magic. It caught oh, this is what this person does. And seeing that, even starting from their merchandise, it speaks a lot to the audience, a lot. So that alone give me a motivation about it.
So, online versus physical branding. What do you think matters most? Which one?
They goes hand in hand. They goes hand in hand because most of this generation we are in, most let's say Gen Z, though it's let me rephrase it this way. There are some brands that their audience are physical, they are physical based on the age range.
Yes.
Now, when such a brand want to make
Invest.
advertisements as regard their brand, it has to be to regard of the age range of the user of their products.
Okay.
So now, in that sense, the physical branding and the online, they goes hand in hand. Like I said, they goes hand in hand, and one must know which one works for me. That's very important. If I'm posting more online, and my audience are they online or they are physical? Because most times, some people, what they have for their brand is word of mouth as referrals. What brings about turn up to their branding and to that brings sales. Most time they keep posting whereby they didn't have anything to reckon with, like patronage. It doesn't occur, but word of mouth. Oh, this person does this, that person does that. It brings about a connection, like a network to to how well their brand we go, and whereby they are always posting online, but they've never got any engagement
From that
from their
online
online
posting.
posting.
Yeah. Because I think people trust more of word of mouth
Exactly. It
than
has really
just.
worked for me.
I think for me,
It has really, really
I
worked
most of
for
my
me.
clientele comes from word of mouth. Oh, Akure has done this for me. I like it. Akure has done that for me. So I think I really understand that. I have one question before we last question, which is, what is the biggest brand job you've taken right now, and what is the how do you say cheapest you've taken? I mean, that cheapest will likely be probably like starting up, but then what's the biggest and what's the like lowest?
Is it in time of course, in time of costing, or
Cost and profit.
okay? Well, I personally, I have the orientation while starting up to position myself well out there.
Mm-hmm.
I should not short charge myself.
Perfect.
And that's one thing I've always learned of my friend Abraham.
Actually,
So I picked up that from him a lot. Even within the short time we've spent a while on campus, I really picked that. Don't short charge yourself. When you know your worth, when you know your value, charge according to your value. When like some of my friends who are starting out, I always tell them, guy, don't do this. I don't do 5,000 naira design. I don't do 2,000 naira design. Some
when
people
you're
will bring
starting out, how much were you doing?
the least I did was 3,000 naira.
Oh.
The least I did, and it was after the COVID-19 arena that I stopped. I changed the landmark from that 3,000 naira. Even if say you have a correction on the design, I will charge you for that, because you are taking my time to go back to the design that you've already approved. And you're telling me to make a correction again. I will charge you for it, because it's my time I'm investing to go back there again,
Yeah.
whereby I have other things to do. And for my biggest brand job, I've worked for, let's say, some politics job, like
Give us a number. 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 I'm really interested in that
No, there
number.
are times whereby you will get a job whereby the profit will be ranging from 200K upward, just a job alone.
Yeah.
And the reason why I focused on branding than just positioning where and sitting on the chair of graphic designing alone, because I know there's more to see when it comes to branding.
Yeah.
Because I personally, when I diversify from, though I'm still designing, but when I know that, oh, designing we lead, I try to scale the two, and I develop more passion in branding, because I know that I'm seeing a lot of profit in here, because it's not just is 6 figures, 7 figures.
That's nice. Lastly, because now with this, you mentioned 7 figures. People are like, wow. So there's money in branding like this. So what is your okay? I want us to do it in two phases. What's your advice to someone who wants to learn branding? One. So what's your advice to brand owners that need to invest in the branding?
Okay, first, for someone who wants to learn branding, like I think that question came up earlier, like pick it up a step at a time. Don't rush things out. When you know that you want to start, let's say you want to focus on merchandise customization, focus on that. know the type of customization you have for this. Probably we have sublimation, you want to do screen printing, you want to do, let's say, direct to film, you want to do UV, know which one works. Like I did one for that respite. I just tried it out. It has never worked.
Wow.
But I just said from experience, let me just see how it's going to work out. I did the UV and the DTF, and both work out on that particular merchandise. I never knew it would work. I just took the risks. Let me see if it's going to, and I did water test and it doesn't fail. So I eventually discovered this thing can actually work. Whereby it has always been fear. Like I reached out to a friend, he said it will not work. I tried it out. I tried to eat it more and it stayed. And the client even asked that, hope is not, I said I've done every possible test that it won't fail. So for a person who is starting out, who wants to venture into branding, just take a step, know what works for you. Don't rush things out. Take a baby step. If you want to start with screen printing, know that fully well. If you want to start with, let's say, merchandise customization generally, know which one works for which. Don't use what will cost you more, whereby you can take your profit out of that.
So the second
And for
question,
investment in personal in branding, like
Yeah.
I didn't know if
let's
I
say someone that has a business, but they've not already seen a need to do the branding, or how can they go about the branding?
well,
Why should they go about branding?
most people don't really see the need for that.
Okay.
That's why they kind of limit themselves that I don't really want this. I don't really, let me just put my banner in front of my shop. That's the only thing. I don't need to do any signage. But those things speak a lot about your brand. That like even I was telling my sister when I visited her lately that you all need these things.
Yeah.
Don't just say, and she made mention of something which I really value. She said for 5 years now she's been doing online radio adverts every morning
So it
for
still
5 years
works.
consecutively.
Wow.
And most people will come to our shop. I heard you from the radio. I heard this your advert from the radio. I intentionally had to stay back home to listen to that to say, oh, she's actually correct. And we are looking for social shop. We are looking for social shop. Whereby in that same market setting, some people will be lying that I am the person. But because there is a clause, when people know you for your integrity, they will always look out for you. When they know you that when you always have this thing, and this thing is known for you, they will always look out for you no matter what. Even when people are trying to cajole that they are faking the personality and they are not who they are. They are not who they lied that they are. They will eventually fail. So I think that one helped my sister a lot, bringing a lot of customer, being consistent about her online presence. She doesn't really use any social media, just do send voice notes. She barely upload pictures on her social media. But what encouraged me about her, what I love about her was when she said she has been doing adverts on radio for 5 years consecutively. I was like, this is massive. And that has really worked for her.
Oh, beautiful.
Because and far beyond that, I've been thinking just okay, let me do something to help her also. Do a video from the entrance of our shop, how to locate that physical to be uploading on a status so that people will not be faking our identity because of the advert they had on radio and locating another shop. Well, when they see the video, oh, this is how to locate our shop, it will really helps them and bring them directly to our shop also. So that alone is an important aspect of branding, positioning yourself, not limiting yourself.
I mean, I think we've really had a beautiful moment having this interview, and thank you very much for coming to share the story of how you made self figures through the work of branding and the endless possibilities that people can enjoy in brand, not just graphic design, but also physical branding, merchandise design. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr.
God
Karim.
bless you. Kindly ensure you like, share, and subscribe to Business Gist with Akure. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Giddy.
Thank you, Mr. Karim. Thank you for having me.